everybody doing this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you. I know some of you are very happy with me that we started with All I Want for Christmas. Some of you are upset. That's okay. I'm okay with both of those things. I'm excited to be with you today on Monday morning. Thanksgiving is over. Christmas is on its way. 2024 is like here. We know that, right? It's showtime. It's game time, right? If you're in the real estate industry like I am, we already know that the activities we do today, we see the results of 30, 60, 90 days from here. So what we're doing today is going to have a profound effect on what 2024 looks like. So we're going to dive right in, get started. As we get started this morning, somebody go ahead and tell me something good. Tell me something. Tell me a win you had this week. Tell me something you're excited about. Anything at all. Let's go for it. Who wants to kick us off? Come on, come on. Anybody? Don't everybody go at one time. It's all right. Nothing good happened to you?
Desi, I went on vacation and got 4 new clients.
That's what I'm talking about, Sarah. Go on vacation, get 4 new clients. Sarah, I remember when I went into real estate, the first time I went on vacation, I came back and I had more money in my bank account than I did when I left. It was the coolest thing that ever happened to me. Congratulations, y'all. Give it up for Sarah. Well done. Well done. Who else? Something good this week. Y'all had Thanksgiving. You saw family. Nothing else good?
Dusty, hi, it's Loretta. We had something great happen. My daughter and I, Morgan, our team, we were in your bowl together last year, and we had 4 of our off-property go under contracts. We have 4 of our listings go under contract on Wednesday.
Wow. Come on now. 4 under contract on
4.
Wednesday. There you go. Y'all give it up for Loretta. Well done. Well done. I love it. I love it. Anybody else this morning? Something good. Something good. Or a win that you had. Anybody? Okay. Well, we're going to make sure you have wins this week. Are you ready? We're going to have wins this week. Here's what we're talking about today, team. If you saw the email, just so you know, each week we'll send this to you so you kind of know what's coming. Here's what we're talking about today on the call as we get started, right? We talk about that the whole purpose of this call is to make sure that you and I define our lives, right? That we're the ones that we draw the circle around ourselves. We define our lives. We define our business. We define our happiness. We define our choices, right? It all comes down to us. And what we're going to talk about today, which I think is vitally important as we start to round out this year and go into a new year, is this word. Everybody write it down. Commitment. Commitment. And we're actually going to journal today at the end again, because I want to talk to us for a little bit about commitment. What does that mean? What does a committed person look like? What are the characteristics of commitment? So I'm a firm believer that every single one of us have the best of intentions. Would all of you agree with that? Right? It's like we don't wake up and have bad intentions. We all wake up, I believe, primarily with great intentions. How we want our day to go, how we want our life to go, right? How we want our marriage to be, how we'd like our relationship with our kids to be, our clients, the people that we work with. I believe we all have the best of intentions. Here's what I want us to know, though. Okay, everybody write this down. It is direction, not intention, that's going to take you where you want to go. You with me? It's direction, not intention, that's going to take you where you want to go. I intend to be a perfect husband. My bride will let you know, though, that is not always what happens. You guys tracking with me on that? All right. Now, she's not going to come on and tell you about how that happens. I'm just going to tell you right now, it just doesn't work that way all the time. And so what it comes down to is our level of commitment to our intentions so that we get into the right directions. Okay. You track it with me on this? It's the commitment to the intentions. How many of you, okay, we're about to come up on January 1st. How many of you are New Year's resolution people? Where are you at? Come on, come on, come on. You write them down. You put them up on the refrigerator. You know, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is the year I'm going to be healthy. That's what I was saying. I'm going to be healthy this year. I'm going to lose weight this year, right? I'm going to work out this year. Okay. I love you. Not if you're not committed. See, here's where we miss when it comes to goals, is we set the goals and then we don't get in relationship with the goals. Are you tracking with me on this? Okay. We like the goal, right? We write it down. Do you know why we write those New Year's resolutions down, team? Can I tell you why? Because they make us feel good. They make us feel good, right? Like it feels good to say, hey man, I'm gonna start working out this week, and I'm gonna start doing this week. And are you guys tracking with me on this? All right. What happens though is once we start getting into the write this word down process, we start realizing, oh, wait a second, I made a commitment. Yeah, there's that word. To do this consistently, not just for the first week or two. How many of you have had the same New Year's resolution for 15 years? Anybody? Right? You're like, nope, this is the year. This is the year of Dusty. This is the year I'm going to accomplish it, right? And then the reason that we don't is because we're not committed to the process. Okay? I believe we're committed to the goal. We like the idea of the goal. We're not committed to the process to get us there. I'm going to show you a video. I want you to listen. I want you to take notes. I want you to think through your 2024. What do you intend for it to look like? And team, I'm not just talking about your business. I'm talking about all of it. You with me? What do you intend for your heart to look like in 2024? What do you intend for your mind to look like in 2024? What do you intend your business to look like? How much money do you intend to make? Are you with me? How many families are you going to serve? Like what's the commitment that you're going to put out there? And then we're going to talk about the process and what it looks like to be committed. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you here real quick. I'm going to show you a quick video and I want you to listen, take notes, listen to what they say. Here we go.
Everybody wants to prize, but nobody loves the process. Everybody wants to be a champion, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to be a champion. Everybody wants to hold up the trophy and say, man, I did it, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to do it. I love the process. I love the thought of working for what I want. And I firmly believe you're never supposed to wish for it more than you're willing to work for it. Your expectations never supposed to exceed your effort. But a lot of people, they wish, and they're not willing to work. And the great thing about life has a funny way of testing all of us and seeing how bad we really want what it is that we say we want.
What if you get weak along the way and you throw in a towel on yourself, you surrender to your emotions? What then? A lot of people become discouraged, they become frustrated, and they say, oh, what the heck? And they go back to doing what they were doing before, saying it doesn't work.
Take quitting out your vocabulary. Take it out. Cry if you must. Rest if you must. But the worst thing you can do is quit. When you want something bad, you can't count the cost, because if you count the cost and you see how much it costs, you might give up. So you got to go in knowing that I don't count the cost. I do as many reps as it takes. I study as long as it takes. I pay whatever the price is. You get to a point when you don't count it. You just do whatever it takes to get whatever you want.
Put yourself in a position where you can't retreat, where it's do or die, sink or swim. Here's what you'll find out. You'll develop incredible swimming skills. You'll find yourself stroking unlike you've ever seen before. Through the inspiration of desperation, you'll become more creative than ever before. Throw your whole self into it. So as we look at the future, we can decide that from this day forward, as I look at all the dimensions of my life, looking at myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm going to do all I can do to develop me.
When you leave, what you fighting for? What's your legacy? What you gonna do? You say you a champ, but do you practice like a champ? You say you a champ, do you fight like a champ? You say you a champ, do you have the mentality of a champ?
The universe responds to the man or woman that refuses to be denied. You've got to be willing to stand there and face disappointment, not have support, doubt yourself sometimes, be rejected again and again and again, and refuse to turn around until life gives it up. Nothing can resist a person that has that kind of commitment.
Oh, come on now. That's got to get you excited this morning. Yes or no? Okay, let me hear from a couple of you. What did you hear in that video? What did you see? What did you write down when it comes to commitment? Let's hear from a couple of you.
I wrote down, don't wish for it more than you want to work for it.
Oh, yeah. I wrote that down too. I wrote, are you wishing or are you working, right? Don't wish for it more than you're willing to work for it, right? That's what we're talking about, that, hey, there's this process in between, right? You heard Eric Thomas, who's one of the best out there. He said, hey, don't say you're a champ and then don't fight like a champ, right? Don't say you're a champ and then don't work like a champ. I love it. Well said. Brandon, how about you, buddy? What'd you hear?
I wrote down expectations shouldn't exceed effort. And then I wrote down, do whatever it takes to get what you want.
There we go. Expectation shouldn't exceed effort. How often do you think maybe our expectation exceeds our effort? Hey, right, here's where I want to go. Oh, no, I don't want to do it that way, coach. That's not, no. Can you got an easier route, right? I didn't show up to play the hard game, right? And then you got to go after, be willing to do whatever it takes to get to what you want. That's it. Everybody write this down. The definition of commitment is this: I will do whatever it takes. That's it. That's commitment. Not, I'll do what feels best. I'll do what I like. Okay. The definition of commitment is I will do whatever it takes. Patricia, how about you this morning? What'd you write down?
Good morning. I wrote down the universe responds to the man and woman that refuses to be denied.
Yeah. The universe responds to the man or the woman that refuses to be denied. So, hey, what we're talking about this morning is the mindset. You tracking with me? The mindset of commitment. Okay. Nobody's going to tell me that I can't. You tracking with me on this? All right. Like, I can tell you right now, like my whole life, they told me I couldn't. I was like 4 foot nothing, right? They're like, no, you can't play tennis at that level. Oh, no. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Are you with me? Sherry, talk to me.
I wrote down, put yourself in a position where you cannot retreat.
Yeah.
Those accountability partners and that circle around you is very important.
Yeah. How about that? Everybody write that down this morning. Put yourself in a position that you cannot retreat. Now that's a whole different ball game right there. You guys tracking with me on this? Okay. Everybody write this down. Voluntarily put yourself into a difficult position. Okay. Write it down. Voluntarily put yourself into a difficult position, and then write this down, so that when difficult things come involuntarily, you're already prepared for it. Voluntarily put yourself into a position that is difficult, so that when those things come involuntarily, anybody had any involuntary difficult days? Yeah, everyone's hand should be up right now, right? Okay, involuntary things happen to us all the time, and we're saying put yourself into those spots so that, just like Sherry said right there, there is no retreat. There is no coming back, okay? Here's what happens when we set out with this commitment to a goal, right? We get excited about it. How many of you get excited when you set a goal? You do, don't you? Okay, so let's talk about one of these New Year's resolutions. Let's say that you say a New Year's resolution of, I'm going to eat healthy and I'm going to work out. Let me tell you how this works. You ready? I've seen this happen a million times. It's happened to me as well. You get all ready. January 1st, you've written it down. It's on the fridge. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to work out. Do you know what you do when that happens? You go to your pantry and you get rid of all the junk. That's what you do, right? Like on December 31st, you're like, it's gone. I'm not eating it anymore. It's terrible for me. I'm not going to do it. Sugar? No, right? You get rid of everything. And then you go to the store and you spend hundreds of dollars on all that healthy stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that don't taste very good. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you get your granola and your salads, and your fridge looks like it's beautiful. Okay, all color coded. Your pantry, you got little labels on it, right? And then let me tell you what else you do. Okay, you go and you get a few new workout outfits, don't you? Do you do that? Okay, men, you do it too. Don't pretend like you don't. You do it too. You go and you get your new little workout outfits, right? So you wake up, man, probably not on January 1st. Okay, I mean, give yourself some grace. January 2nd, though, you wake up, you got your gym membership, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You never got up 5 o'clock in the morning in your life. This is the year, though, right? You get up at 5 a.m., you eat your granola, you drink your fancy little shake you bought, you go to the gym, and you work out like you have never worked out before. You slay it. Yes or no? Right? Okay. And then you slay it so much, you just shower at the gym, and then you go to work, and you have the best day of work you've ever had in your life. You're a machine. It's 2024, the new me, right? Everybody with me? You done this before? Okay. And you probably you probably nail your job that day better than you ever have in your life. Okay. And then you go to bed that night and your alarm goes off the next morning at 5 a.m. Do you feel the same? You feel a little bit different. It's day 2, but you know what? It's okay because you have another new outfit. So it's okay, right? You got, this is outfit number 2. So you put on your fancy new little outfit, you go grab your Nola and your shake, you go and you work out. You don't work out as hard because now it hurts a little bit, okay? And then here's what happens. You get to day 3, and you know what happens on day 3? Pain happens on day 3. Your body says, Brandon, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, Scooter. I think you should stay in bed a little bit. So your alarm goes off at 5 and you're like, you know what? I need a little rest. And then you realize a week or 2 weeks in that the only way this is going to happen is if you what? Stick to your commitment. Write these words down. Even when you don't feel like it. Can I tell you what the high achievers of the world do? Okay, write it down. Here's what they do. Commitment. They do what they don't want to do when they don't want to do it. You with me? Because can I tell you something? Your new outfits won't be new anymore. Okay? The salad every day gets old. You tracking with me on this? And so we start to do what? We start to run back to the same things that led us to where we are, and we don't like where we are. That's why we made the commitment to begin with, but we like to go back where we're comfortable and it feels good, okay? I'm going to give you today some characteristics of what it looks like to be a committed person, what a person of commitment looks like. Here's a couple things. Number 1, I intend for you to become this as we write these things down today. Number 2, I want you to look for people that are this. And then go get in relationship with those people. Are you with me? Like, make a phone call and say, hey, will you walk with me? Will you get on a call with me once a week? Like, find a way to get around the people that you already see are living this and living in commitment, the mindset of commitment. Okay, ready? I'm going to give you a few characteristics of the mindset of commitment. All right, here's the first one. Okay, here's the first one. People that are committed tend to be controversial. You're like, whoa, wait a second, coach. I don't want to be controversial. I want to get along with everybody. Let me explain what I mean. Okay. People that are committed to whatever it is they've set out to do, can I tell you something? They don't care what you think. Yeah. And we live in this world, man. Let me tell you, the culture of our world is constantly worried about, well, what are they going to think about this? How are they going to respond to this? What are they going to say about me when I'm not around? Can I tell you what committed people do? They don't care. They don't care, right? They're like, no. This is the direction that I'm going. You don't have to like it. I didn't ask for you to like it. It's not your direction. So everybody hear me. You define your direction. Okay? You define the goal. You define the direction. You define the process. And so number 1, they are controversial. Look for people. And I don't mean like controversial just to be controversial. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know, there's people out there, they just wake up controversial because they think it's fun. No, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about you are locked in, committed to the direction of your life, okay? And you're not going to be swayed by the opinion of others. Okay, you tracking with me on this? What committed people do is they go to the goal. Every day they get up, their thought process is, how am I going to take steps forward today to take me towards my goal? Okay. They also feel the fear and they do it anyway. They don't do it without fear. So everybody hear me. I think a lot of times we think that some people are just fearless. Okay, let me tell you, if you are human on this call, you have fear. Yes or no? Okay, there on some level, we all have fear. Sometimes if you're anything like me, fear just overwhelms me. I don't even have a reason for it. It just runs into my mind and runs into my heart. And here's what fear does to us. It cripples us in our direction to achieve our goals. Okay. And so we have a saying in the Oglesby house, and it is, feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. You guys tracking with me on this? All right. So that's number one. They're controversial. It is, hey, this is the goal. I'm committed to it. I define my life. You don't define my life. And I'm going to stay committed to the goal. And did you hear what Inky Johnson said at the beginning of the video? He said, I'm in love with the process. You tracking with me on this? I'm in love with the process. Okay, so that's the first thing that they do. Can I tell you guys this too? All right. And I think this is regardless of the industry you're in, but I can tell you for a fact, if you're in the real estate industry today, can I tell you something? The game has changed. It is going to change more, and it's not going to get easier anytime soon. It's never been more important that you are committed to where you're going than it is right now. Okay. Never been more important. All right. Here's a second characteristic of people that are committed. They are loyal. Write that down. They're loyal. Now, first and foremost, here's what I want to make sure you understand. They are loyal to themselves. And let me ask you that. Are you loyal to you? Like, are you taking a stand for you? Right? I view one of my jobs as a coach is that I'm going to stand for your greatness, even if you want to stand for your limitations, because I find a lot of people aren't loyal to themselves. They're loyal to everybody else. And I think that's an incredible characteristic. I'm not telling you to not be loyal to your friends and to your family and to the people around. I'm just asking you, when did you stop being loyal to you? Like, when did you, everybody hear me? When did you stop going after what you want? You tracking with me on this? When did you stop going after what you want? Hey, let me tell you what else they're loyal to. They're loyal to their dreams. They're loyal to their dreams. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute, because here's where I think we miss in the goal. Okay? Is that we don't tie the goal to the dream. You with me? Like, we think it's just this year. You know, it's just, this is my goal this year. Everybody hear me. Your goal this year is so that you can accomplish the dreams that you have 20 years from now. Okay? It's not a small little goal. It's a step towards your dreams. I think somewhere along the way of being kids, you and I stopped dreaming. Every class I'm in, you know what we talk about? We talk about goals, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But when did we stop talking about dreams? Right? Like, where did that stop? I want to make sure everybody hears this if you don't hear anything else on this call. I don't care what your age is today. You are not too late for your dreams. Like, you didn't miss the boat. Okay. Life, hey, everybody hear me. Life has not won. It didn't beat you so bad. No, you can still go accomplish every dream that you have, regardless of your age today. Okay. But you have to be loyal to the dream. Okay. Some of you today, you just got to start dreaming again. That's what we're going to talk about next. I want you to know this too. They are loyal to their priorities. That's what committed people do. They're loyal to their priorities. Number one, they know what their priorities are, and then they stick to them. Okay. One of my mentors, Gary Keller, says this: they get comfortable with the boredom of mastery. Like, hey, they're just consistent. Committed people are consistent. They stay loyal to the dream. Hey, if it's not in alignment with the dream, I'm not doing it. If it's not in alignment with my goal, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do all the little mundane, painful tasks. It's what Inky Johnson said. It's the process of becoming. I'm going to fall in love with the process. Okay. Loyal to the dreams. Okay. And then the next, number 3, characteristic of commitment, characteristic of committed people. Here's what it is. They're dreamers. Okay. People who are committed are dreamers. So I want to give you a little bit around this for a minute, because I really do. I feel like this is where we miss in our goals is we think about goals by the year. Maybe if you've been coached really well, you're thinking a 5-year goal, you're thinking a 10-year goal. Okay. If you've been coached incredibly well, you're thinking a someday goal. Okay. Everybody on here's got a job, right? Y'all got a job. You're doing something every day. You got a job that brings in money. Okay. Let me ask you, why are you doing it? Like, what's the someday goal? What's the dream? Where do you want to be? Okay. So I'll give you an example. When I'm 62 years old, all right, I'm going to be playing golf on any golf course on the planet with my son. Okay. I'm going to have the financial ability to be in a position where I work because I want to, not because I have to. There's a big difference, right? Okay. I would say by and large, most of us on this call today work because we have to, right? I want to be in a position, right? My dream is I want to be in a position someday where I work because I want to. Okay. I have a dream that one day I'm going to have 40 acres somewhere in Texas that's going to be a pastoral retreat center where pastor families can come from all over the country for 1 year and they can just heal. Okay. If you know much about my story, you know that's a big part of my background with my dad. So I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, but what are you dreaming about? Not just the goals, like what are you dreaming about? Okay. Where do you want to be? Okay. When I close my eyes here, I want to be able to turn to my bride and say, man, we did that good. Like that was good, right? We had a good life. We got incredible kids that are gonna take our legacy and run with it, right? And build their own. Okay. What are you dreaming about? I want to give you a few things around dreams. Okay. Here's the first thing I want you to know. Everybody write this down. You were created to dream. Did you know that? You were created to dream. If you don't believe me, go back to when you were 5 years old. You remember when you were 5 years old and what you dreamed of? Okay. But somewhere along the way, adults, somebody told us we couldn't do it. Somebody told us, no, nobody in our family's ever accomplished that. Somebody took their limiting belief, they put it on you, you adopted it, and you stopped going after what you want, right? Brandon, you said that really well. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get what I want. Okay, what do you dream about? You were created to dream. I'm going to give you phases of dreams. You ready? Here's the first phase of a dream. Okay, real simple. Okay, if you want to know where this comes from, there's a great book by Rick Warren, who wrote The Purpose-Driven Life. He just wrote a book called Created to Dream. Okay, and here's some of the first things that he says. Okay, the first phase of a dream is very simple, and that is to dream. Like, what is it? What's the dream? What are you going after? When you tie your goal to a dream, I believe you'll be more prone to achieve it. When you tie your commitment to a dream, I believe you'll be more prone to achieve it. Okay. So the first phase is you got to dream it. Everything starts with a dream. Everything, right? Where we desire to be, okay? The second phase is this. You got to make a decision. Phase number 2, you got to make a decision. Here's what I mean. You got to draw a line in the sand, okay? You got to burn the ships behind you, and you got to go all in on the dream. That's commitment, okay? Like, don't leave a bridge to get back, okay? You don't live there anymore. Are you tracking with me on this? I'm going here. I'm going to burn the ships and I'm going to go. I've made a decision. I've drawn the line in the sand. This is where I desire to be. You tracking with me? Now, that's the easy part. Dream it, make a decision. Here's the hard part. The third phase of a dream is called delays. Delays. How many of you on the call have had some delays in your dreams? Didn't happen the way you wanted it, right? Maybe today you're looking up, you look at how old you are, like, I'm about to turn 46. I know y'all thought I was 25. I'm not. I'm about to turn 46 years old. And I look back sometimes and think, man, I'm not as far as I thought I would be. And what happens is I get stuck sometimes in the delay, right? And we have to push through the delay, okay? Here's the purpose of the delay. The purpose of make no mistake, there's purpose in it, okay? The purpose of the delay is this. It's teaching you to become who you need to be in order to achieve the dream. Okay? The problem we have too when we talk about commitment to dreams and to goals is we immediately start thinking about what do I have to do, right, in order to achieve the dream or the goal. Isn't that what we do? Right? Okay, all of you are probably doing this right now, okay? If you're in the real estate world, everybody's doing business planning, right? And we're setting these goals. And then the first thing we do after we set that goal is what? Okay, what do I got to do to accomplish it? Okay, I want to give you a whole completely different thought. I want to ask you, who do you have to become to accomplish it? Not what do you have to do. Who do you have to become in order to accomplish that dream? Because here's what I firmly believe. When you and I, in the delays, learn who we've got to become, I believe we will begin to do what that level of a person does. You with me on this? You've heard me say this before. If you've been in a room with me, you've heard me say there is beauty in becoming. Do you know what's happening in the delay? Maybe today you're in the delay of your dreams. Here's what I want to tell you is happening. There is beauty in becoming. You're being molded. You're being shaped to become the person you've got to be in order to hit the dream. Okay? Here's the fourth phase. This one will resonate with you. Ready? It's called difficulties. Yeah. How about that? Anybody have any of those? Anybody? Or does that just happen at the Oglesby house sometimes, right? Difficulties. Hey, coach, this didn't go my way. Hey, how many of you have had difficulties you had nothing to do with? You had those? Like, hey, I didn't ask for this. This isn't fair. This isn't right. Hey, I want to take you back to a call we had a few weeks ago on accountability. You remember this call? Okay. When things get difficult, when things don't go my way, I get two choices. Does anybody remember what they are? I can be a victim or I can be accountable. Right? My cousin Sherry said it earlier. She said, put yourself in a position where there is no retreat. Get people around you. Are you with me? And let me just pause for a second and say this, okay? I want you to hear my heart fully on this call today. I'm not saying that your difficulties aren't a big deal, because they are. Okay, like some of you today may be right in the middle of the difficulty. And let me tell you something. Like I've had pain in my life that I didn't even know existed. Like I didn't even know you could hurt like that. Right? So I just want you to hear my heart. I hear you. I see you. You are not alone. That's why we're on this call together. That's why we have this community of 2,600 of us that are going, hey, let's walk this out together. Because I can promise you this, on the other side of difficult, there is beauty over there. Okay. But in order to get to it, we got to be accountable. We can't be a victim. Are you with me? Hey, I'm not saying it was right that it was done to you. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying you and I get to choose one thing, and that's how we respond to it. Okay. And the only way you can do that is be committed to what's next, right? Burn the ships and go forward. You tracking with me on this? Take the opportunities that are out in front of you. All right. And then there's two more phases. Okay. Here's the next phase. Dead ends. Dead ends. You ever felt like that? You with me? You ever just felt like, hey, this is it, man. Like there is nothing else. There is nothing else. I want you to write this down, okay? Great faith inspires great dreams. Okay? Great faith inspires great dreams. And then I want you to write this down. Great dreams require great faith. Okay? Great faith inspires great dreams, and great dreams require great faith. In the book, here's what Rick Warren writes. He says, in the dead end phase, the situation deteriorates from difficult to impossible. You ever felt that before? I remember sitting on the stairs at my parents' house after my dad had passed away that night, and I thought, I can't do this. Like I don't have this in me. This is like to take a step felt like a big accomplishment. You guys tracking with me on this? Okay. And then he says this. He says, if you're at this stage, congratulations. That's what he wrote. I'm like, what? What's wrong with you, Rick? What do you mean, congratulations? He says, congratulations. You are in good company. You are in good company. And then he goes further and he says this. He says, in a world where people are dead emotionally, we can have the faith to be risen out of that dead emotion. That it comes from our faith, right? I mean, what is faith to begin with? Faith is believing in what I can't even see, right? So what we may be looking at is a dead end. Hey, can I tell you, this is why people don't accomplish their dreams, because they get to the dead ends and they think that's it. Can I tell you something? That's not it. That's the beginning. That's the beginning. Like that. The dead end is not a dead end unless you choose for it to be. How many of you on this call are living proof today that a dead end is not a dead end? I see my cousin Sherry on the call. Sherry sees me on the call. I know many of you incredibly well, and I know that your dead end was not a dead end. You with me? Because let me tell you what comes after the dead end. This is the last phase of a dream. You ready? Here's what comes after the dead end. Deliverance and the day of the dream. That's what comes. Deliverance and the day of the dream. Do you remember after the dead end, the day that you realized you made it? You know what I'm talking about? Like all the pain, all the struggle, you stay committed. You didn't bail out on the dead end. And it was like you just woke up one day and went, I did it. Like, I feel again. You with me? Like, I remember a season of my life, literally over a year, I just didn't have any feelings. Like the pain was so great. It was the only thing I could feel. I was in that dead end phase. Okay. After the dead end phase, if we choose to stay committed, we get the breakthrough, the deliverance, and the day of the dream. Okay. One more thing Rick Warren says, and then I'll lead you into the rest of it. He says, if you don't have a dream, then you're not really living, you're just existing. If you don't have a dream, then you're not really living, you're just existing. Okay, so more than anything today, I want you to hear this. Give yourself permission to dream again. Give yourself permission to dream again. What do you want? Like, what do you want? What are you going to go after? What do you want? Okay. And then here's the final thing that I want to give you about commitment. All right. People that are committed are tough. Okay. People that are committed are tough. Here's what I can promise you. Tough times call for tough-minded people. The reason we have this call every Monday is because the way you think is more important than it ever has been. Would you agree with that? Okay, like in the world that we live in, regardless of what industry you're in, if you're in the real estate industry, we've talked about this, okay? Tough times call for tough-minded people. Guess what? Tough times are here. Okay, Christine, you made a great point over there. Christine just put in the chat box, tough times don't last, tough people do. That's exactly right. That's commitment. Okay, hey, this season, let me encourage you. This season that you're in, as difficult it may be, can I tell you something? All right. This too really, really shall pass. It really does. Okay. We've got to be tough-minded in the middle of it. This is why I ask you guys to get in a habit of journal every single morning. It's so that you're setting your mind right and your heart right and your intentions right before you even get started, because there's going to be plenty that goes against you. Right? Okay. There's going to be plenty that goes against you. And we've got to be tough in the middle of that. Okay. Let me give you a couple words around toughness. One of them is endurance. Oh, there you go, Rhett Campbell. Grit gains ground. Come on, write that down. A word I want you to write down is endurance. Okay, I've said this before to you on a call. I'll say it again. When you're running a marathon, you better know why you're running, because the last mile is going to ask you. It's just going to ask, man. And can I tell you something? It's going to like scream ask. Okay. In fact, I don't even think it asks. I think it just flat out tells you. Okay, like, hey, not worth it, bro. Okay, you tracking with me on this? Endurance. What's your endurance level? Can I tell you where endurance starts? It starts in your mind, and it starts with your commitment. That's where it starts. Okay, let me give you another word, capacity. And let me encourage you to something today. Every one of you on the call, hear me. You have way more capacity in you than you ever thought. Like, you got so much toughness inside of you that you may not want to hear this, but you hadn't even got to the bottom of it yet. Okay, when I said earlier that I've had moments in my life where I felt a pain that I didn't know exist, can I tell you that I found out in those moments that my faith gave me the capacity to get through that? Can I also tell you one more thing? Here's what tough people understand, okay? You don't get over tough things, okay? So I don't know what life has handed you, but the greatest advice I ever got when my dad passed away was from Rick Warren, who wrote that book I just gave to you, okay? And he sat down at our kitchen table, and he looked at my brother and my mom and I, and he said these words: "You won't ever get over this, so you don't have to try." I'll never forget that. Because I remember sitting there thinking, I'm never going to get over this. And he was right. I'm not ever going to get over it. My dad's been gone 14 years in March. Okay, like my eyes well up every single time I say his name. It'll never change. I'm never going to get over it. Okay, here's what tough people do though. We learn how to get through it. Okay, you can't go over grief. You can't go around it. You tracking with me on this? There's one way to do it. You got to walk right through the middle of it. Okay, so difficult times, tough times call for tough-minded people to walk right through the middle of it. Okay, walk right through the middle of it. And I can tell you this, when you know where you're going, the workload in the middle of it will seem less because of your commitment to the goal and commitment to the dream. Does that make sense? It will actually seem less because of the commitment to the goal and the commitment to the dream. Tracking with me on this? All right, now, here's the number one thing I want you to hear. This all comes down to you. You have massive purpose in your life. You have massive dreams. And I trust today that you started, if you stopped dreaming, that you started to dream again. In fact, I would do an exercise if I were you. I would literally, at the top of a piece of paper, write down, what do I want? And then down below it, I want you to write down what you want. That's a dream list. Okay, Zig Ziglar coaches us to have a dream list. Like, hey, what do you want, man? What do you want to go after? Who do you want to be? You with me? I'm going to show you one more video. As I show you this, it's actually not a video that moves. It's just a speech that Les Brown gave. Okay. Anybody have you ever heard Les Brown talk? Okay. Well, you're about to if you haven't. Okay. Google everything Les Brown. As we do this, this is when I want you to take the time and journal. And I want you to hear his words. And I want you to understand you have massive purpose. We will not accomplish our purpose, though, if we are not committed to that purpose. Okay, ask 2 questions every day in your journal. Is who I'm being in alignment with my purpose? Is who I'm being right now in alignment with where I want to go? Because if it's not, then you need to change who you're being. And secondly, you need to ask, is what I'm doing in alignment with where I want to go? Is who I'm being and what I'm doing in alignment with where I want to go, in alignment with my purpose. Okay, let's take a quick minute and we'll watch this video, and I want you to journal as we do it, and then we'll wrap up. Here you go.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible that I can have my dream. As we run toward it, as we work on it day in and day out. I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. And I remember this high school teacher, Mr. Leroy Washington, at the end of school one June, it was just a few days before we were supposed to leave, and I just got my report card, and it indicated that I'd failed history, and I'd failed English, and I would have to go to summer school. And I was feeling within myself that I was a failure, that I'm slower than most people in getting paperwork, and I was feeling down on myself and very negative. And Mr. Washington was giving a speech to the graduating seniors, and I was in 11th grade. And even though I wasn't supposed to be in there, I went in there because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run by my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him because he said, and he was a very dramatic man. I still talk to him to this day. He said, as graduating seniors of Booker T. Washington High School, I want you to know that you're blessed and highly favored. And that as you go toward the future, begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And the students gave him a rousing standing ovation. And as he left the auditorium, I ran down the steps and I caught him in the parking lot. I said, "Mr. Washington?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Do you remember me, sir?" He said, "No." I said, "My name is Leslie Brown. My mother, she works in the cafeteria here. I'm one of the twins, Leslie and Wesley." I said, "Mr. Washington, but you know, I got these big dreams. You know, I like talking to people. I love people." I said, I want to work with people, and I got this dream of buying my mama a home. Could I do that, Mr. Washington?" He said, "It's possible, Mr. Brown." And as he walked away, I called him again. I said, "Mr. Washington?" He said, "What do you want now?" I said, "I'm the one, sir." I said, "I'm the one. You remember me, sir. I'm Miss Mamie Brown's boy. I'm the one. I'm the one."
Come on now. I'm the one. I'm the one. All comes down to you, right? Let's hear from some of you today as we start to wrap up. What are a couple of things that you wrote down today in your journal? A couple of things you're taking away from today. Anybody? Cherie, go for it, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you again to Dusty and to all of you amazing people who share so much. That was way too long of an introduction. I'll get going. The first thing I wanted to, I know, right? The first thing I wanted to do was I wrote down here that we always talk about the process and we talk about the dream. And the one thing we forget to mention is the courage that it takes. And the courage has nothing to do with the process, but it has much more to do with how we allow to see ourselves on the other end of that process. So when there were a couple of things that you said that completely resonated with me. The other thing I wanted to leave with you today is that in difficulties, we need to stop telling our God how big our problem is and tell our problem how big our God is. And then I wanted to leave you with a quote from Wallace Wattles that says, when we look at dead ends, never look at the visible supply, but always look at the limitless riches in the formless substance, and know that they are flowing to and through you continuously as fast as you can receive and use them. So hopefully someone is encouraged by that today. Thank you.
Come on. Thank you, Cherie. I am. Well said. Well said. And Manuela, how about you?
Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So you said something about something along the lines that at some point in our lives, we stop dreaming. And one of the things that I journaled today is I give myself permission, I give myself space and capacity and permission to dream.
Yeah.
It is my birthright to dream, and it is my rent payment for my existence to fulfill it.
Woo.
So thank you for that.
Come on. Come on. You dropped the mic on that. Well said, Emanuela. Two more, Rhett, then Ron Holmes. Go ahead, Rhett.
Hey, good morning, Dusty. Two different things here. The reason why I was late to the call is because I was doing exactly what we discussed today. I was trying to keep my commitments, and I'm going to go over that in just a second. I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about this. I've heard that speech more times than I can remember. There's been a few different times in my life where I've been in some bad places. And I remember one specific thing I said one time listening to that and to other ones trying to get me back to where I needed to be. but I specifically remember I wrote it down. I said, if I have to listen to someone who doesn't know me tell me how great I am until I believe it myself, then I'll do exactly that. And I listen to stuff like that all the time. What I was wanting to share with y'all about the commitments is what I was writing on this morning. Dusty knows that part of one of my commitments is one of the books that I'm writing, and it's called My Child, Our Father and I. And something that happened between me and my son the other night during a chess game. I'm going to share that with you now. I'll try to read this as quickly as I can. It's not that long. It says the chess game. It says he started to lose and wanted to give up, but I reminded him that it's not always about winning, but more about getting better each time that he plays. This is a game we was having my son. I believe at times in life we think we're always supposed to win, but little do we know that we're going to find ourselves in situations many, many more times where it's far more important that we get better than if we win. We cannot in our lives, we can't live our lives in such a way where our children are led to believe by our very own words and actions that they must always win. Because as we now ponder and know that our Father rarely intends on us winning anywhere near as much as we think he does. You know, now that I think about it even more, I begin to realize that maybe the best way we win is by getting better in healthy moderations in a predetermined timeline that's guided by the guidance of the one who loves us the most. If we want to learn more about how we should live and accomplish the things we say we want, then we could seek no better place than by asking the one who made us in the first place. There's only one who knows you better than you know yourself. And with that in mind, asking him to help you understand yourself better might be the best place to start. One piece of advice, if you're going to ask, make sure that you take the time to listen to his answer. Secondly, ask for understanding. And lastly, for discernment and being able to implement what it is that he has allowed you to know the best way possible for the greatest outcome, not only for yourself, but by glorifying him and becoming beyond belief blessings for others. By becoming better, we become our best. I hope that helps, Dusty. I'm sorry I was long-winded.
Well said, brother. Well said. Come on. Ryan and Aziz, I know we just got a minute. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, I was just going to say, on the dead end, our perspective and how we look at the circumstance will determine how we handle those dead ends. Yeah. And then the other thing that I said you said about, well, first of all, the wish thing, you got to go execute, because you can wish in one hand and do something in the other and see which one fills up faster if you don't go do. But the other is trust who God says you are and who he wants you to be, instead of listening to the enemy trying to convince you who you won't ever be.
Yeah, come on. Aziz, wrap us up, brother.
Just quick testimony. Most of us go to college at 18 and get out around 22 or 23. It took me a really long time. It took me till 38 to get out. In there as a regular student doing college things. Went back. Pandemic happened. Had my first seizure. Had my second seizure. Had my third seizure. Diagnosed with epilepsy. And I finished last May. After all of that. So it was definitely a dream, all those things that we talked about today. And then the day where the dream came true.
Come on. Well said, Aziz. Well said. I love it, man. Congratulations. Y'all give it up for him. Hey, real quick, team, I know we're at the end of our time. I do want to tell you real quickly, though, and you will hear a lot more about this. We've been asked to do this multiple times, and we're going to be doing it. We're on January 8th through the 12th. Okay, as soon as we come back from break, everything that we talked about today, we're going to have what's called Define 24. That you define your 2024. Okay, and we're offering it to you guys first before anybody. So I put over in the chat box a link. If you would like to be a part of this, it's going to be 5 days in a row, an hour each day, where we define your 2024 and further from that, if you would like to be a part of it. So it's $99 for the whole thing. That's it, if you choose to be a part of it. However, because you guys are on the call and part of the Facebook group, you get that for $79. Okay. You just put in, there's a code, and it's Define FB, so Define Facebook. So if you'd like to be a part of that, I did drop it over in the chat box. I'll drop it over there again. Jump in there, be a part with us. You'll hear about this each and every single week. We want to get as many people in there as we possibly can, team, so that in 2024, You are the one who defines your life and your business in 2024. Okay. So jump on that link, put the Facebook code in so that you get the $20 discount, $79. It's an hour a day for 5 days in a row. Okay. Sound good? I love you. Bless you. Go for it. Bless you guys. Take care. Cherie, you got a quick question?
Yeah. What is the code again? I'm sorry.
It is Define FB. Define FB. Just put that in the code.
Super. Blessings.
Okay, guys. Bless you guys. We'll see you. Bye-bye.